start cutting my hair and start rings disappearing one by one. One time I said,
When you play, the whole place just falls, like the house is coming down.
yeah, man. But it doesn't touch the crowd because they're up there flying with us somewhere. That's the idea.
That's exactly how it felt out there tonight. Tell me, where did the songs come from?
All my songs happen on the spur of the moment.
Really? No planning at all?
Yeah, and I'm not handing you a line. You know I'm leveling with you.
So with that kind of spontaneity, do you ever feel like you need to use studio gimmicks or effects to compensate?
On some records, you hear all this clash and bang and fanciness, but all we're doing is laying down the guitar tracks, and then we echo here and there. But we're not adding false electronic things. We use the same thing anyone else would, but we use it with imagination and common sense, like House Burning Down. We made the guitar sound like it was on fire. It's constantly changing dimensions, and up on top, that lead guitar is cutting through everything.
So the most important thing for you isn't the sound itself, it's the connection.
Yeah. The most important thing is to communicate with the audience, to communicate with them honestly.
A lot of people expect your stage presence to be, well, kind of obscene, wild gestures and all that.
That's not true most of the time. My presence is always cool. I let my emotions come through strong. At times, I've turned my back on the audience, if that's the way I really felt.
What do you mean?
When I don't say thank you or I turn my back to the audience, it's not against them. I'm just doing that to get a certain thing out. I might be uptight about the guitar being out of tune or something. Things have to go through me, and I have to show my feelings as soon as they're there.
You ever have issues with your instruments holding up?
Yeah, like these two guitars I have now. They've been around for a while, and they just don't stay in tune. They might slip out of tune a bit right in the middle of the song, and I'll have to start fighting to get it back in tune.
I noticed you tune between nearly every song.
We tune up between every song because it's not a Flash Gordon show. Everything all neat and rehearsed. It's not one of those kind of things. It's important for us to get our music across the best way we can. It means we have to do it natural, like tuning up before songs.
Jimmy, can we talk about the trio a little? You, Mitch, and Noel. How's that dynamic work?
Sometimes they might want to tell me something, and I might not be able to understand, and it gets frustrating. Anytime you make a song, you want your own personal thing in it as well as the group. We don't compromise with each other very much, you know. Like one guy thinks one thing, and he's going to stick with that one thing, so he does it the way he wants it.
Do you guys rehearse together often?
The trio doesn't do much practicing. Most of our practice is thinking about it. They might hear the same tune I have, so they throw it around in their minds and picture the fingerboard. So then when we go to the studios and I give them a rough idea, maybe Mitch and I will lay a track down completely by ourselves and then add the rest.
What about live jamming? How do you guys stay in sync?
As far as jamming out here on a show, we try to listen to each other. I just keep my music in my head. It doesn't even come out to the other guys until we go to the studio. Sometimes if I have a new song or if the guys want to take a vacation or something like that, maybe I'll go to the studio by myself and have an acid tape made and have a rough idea about the drums, guitar, bass, and vocal. Then other times I'll just come in banging away on the guitar and be singing and say, this is a new song. We try to put our own self into it no matter what song we play.
Let's talk gear. Still playing the Strat?
I mostly use a Stratocaster with Fender light gauge guitar strings. I also have two Gibsons. Some of the tracks on our new LP have a Gibson on them.
And amps?
I use Sun guitar amps. It doesn't make any difference what size the amps are as long as I know I have it. I'm not necessarily trying to be loud, I'm just trying to get this impact. I don't like to use mics. To get the right sound, it's a combination of both amp and fretting.
Why the light gauge strings?
Because I don't like them to scratch the board too much.
How do you stay creatively open with all the noise and expectations?
I feel it's important not to have a closed mind to new things that are happening. You can't just get stuck up on guitar. You have to use a little bit of imagination and breakaway. There's millions of other kinds of instruments. There's horns, guitars, everything. Music is getting better and better, but the idea now is not to get as complicated as you can, but to get as much of yourself into it as you can.
When you hear other bands, what do you notice first?
When I see a group, I look for feeling, not the jump around kind of feeling. And then I look for togetherness, a communication between the musicians. Originality comes about fourth or fifth.
It's the band's second anniversary tonight. Looking back, where did it all start for you?
I was born in Seattle, Washington, 21 years ago. I left school early to join the Army Airborne. I played with millions of groups, played behind cats who are making it now.
Who inspired you when you were coming up?
Muddy Waters, Elmore James, Eddie Cochran, and B.B. King, among others.
But your style's not really a copy of theirs.
My style is not a mixture of the past. It is something which comes out of myself. I write songs to release frustration. I like to play lead sometimes so I can express myself. But the way I play lead is a raw type of way. It comes to you naturally.
That playing style, upside down, backwards, it's wild.
The way I play may be natural for me, but it's the opposite of most other guitarists. I play a backwards, upside-down guitar, holding the neck in my right hand, and playing with the bass strings on the bottom and the high strings on the top of the guitar.
Are there unreleased tracks you're sitting on?
We've got about 4 tracks that we haven't released yet. One has a very simple rhythm with a funky horn pattern in it, and a tiny bit of echo to make the horn sharper. It happens naturally, like when you hear something you might want to use strings with. But we haven't been able to get these things together because we've been on tour.
So here's the old cliche. What do you say to the guys still out there grinding, trying to make it?
It's pretty hard to give advice, but if these guys have really gotten into it, and everyone, mothers and friends, and have said, wow, then they should try to get in touch with a major musician or have a representative of a record company come to one of their gigs. But tell them it's best not to sign anything too soon. Tell them to get some lawyers. Managers may not know it all, and a lawyer knows what's right.
And when it gets hard?
You have to stick with it. Sometimes you are going to be so frustrated you want to give up the guitar. You'll hate the guitar. But all of this is just a part of learning, because if you stick with it, you're going to be rewarded. Stream.